Would you look at that, man? This is Steve. Of course it is. Who else would it be? And welcome to Classified Captures. The conversation around UFOs is not slowing down anytime soon, and videos like this are a big reason why. This sighting was captured on March the 27th, 2026 in Helena, Mississippi, and what was filmed in the sky that day has left people searching for answers. There's an object up there that doesn't look like any conventional aircraft. The shape is unusual, and the way it moves only adds to the confusion. Some people think it could be a weather balloon or an atmospheric effect, and those explanations are worth considering. But when you look closely, the shape and movement makes that feel like a stretch. So what do you think was in the sky over Helena that day? Something very strange has been happening across different cities in America, and it's been caught on camera more than once. In subway footage from New York City, a man walking through the station with a shopping bag suddenly vanishes mid-stride. One moment he's there, and the next he's not. Then a similar clip appears from Chicago. A man holding a shopping bag disappears right in front of a woman walking towards him. No warning, no transition, just gone. And then a third video surfaces from Los Angeles. This time it happens roadside at night. Another person, another shopping bag, and once again the same outcome. That detail is what has everyone paying attention. Every single person who disappears is holding a shopping bag. 3 separate incidents, same pattern. That is either an incredible coincidence, a coordinated AI trend where creators are using the bag as a signature, or it means something about the bag itself that no one has figured out. We've seen coordinated video trends creating footage like this before, and they can be very convincing. But if these clips are real, then people holding shopping bags are disappearing in plain sight. Now, does that sound like a coincidence to you, or something we should actually be concerned about? If I'm honest with you now, I think this would probably scare me more than any ghost encounter. Take a look at this. Jeez, man. I mean, that thing gets its beak on you. I mean, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. It bites your whole face off. My God. Jeez. Look at the guy's face. I saw a diver. I think it's quite famous footage, actually, with an octopus that sucks itself onto his mask and starts taking out the oxygen and the mask off and the whole 9 yards. Phew. Scary stuff, man. Scary stuff. I'd rather see a ghost anytime. Now, this next bit of footage took me a little bit by surprise. The description says that it's an Arabic ghost hunter calling out an unwanted jinn. Let's have a look at it together and you tell me what you think. I mean, it's clever and the guy sounds genuinely frightened, right? So, I don't know. I mean, he's landed on a carpet. Maybe he's trying to say something. Let's go for a carpet ride. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, it's hard to tell, really, what the situation is, you know. The last time I had any unwanted gin, it came in a glass with some tonic and gave me a hell of a hangover.
Bismillah! Bismillah! Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim! Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim! Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim!
Now let's take a look at this next piece of footage that's left a lot of people confused. A woman noticed something unusual and decided to test it. She pointed a flashlight up in the sky. Normally that beam would just disappear into the distance. The sky is vast, stretching miles beyond what we can see, so the light should simply fade out. But that's not what happens here. In this footage, the beam does not keep going, it appears to stop. It hits something. Now it's late at night, so it's hard to tell whether it's a cloud cover or just darkness, but the light clearly does not pass through the way you'd expect. And then it gets even stranger. When she shines the torch toward the trees, you can see what looks like their reflection on that same surface in the sky. That alone is what has people questioning what they're actually looking at, because the sky should not behave like something that can reflect light back like that. One of the most popular interpretations among people who follow this kind of footage is the dome theory, the idea that the Earth exists within some kind of enclosed structure, and what we can see is the sky is not an open space but a surface. In that context, the reflection would make sense. But there's another explanation that's worth considering. If there's a heavy fog or very low cloud cover dense enough to act like a surface, the beam from the torch could reflect off of it. In the right condition, nearby objects like trees could appear to reflect on that layer, similar to how reflections form on still water. Both explanations try to make sense of the same thing. Which one makes more sense to you? Fog and low clouds, or something much bigger above us? While you decide, we'll take a look at this comment as well. Do you think they have a point concerning whatever that shadow is? Some property owners set up game cameras across their remote land after noticing signs of illegal hunting and trespassing. They wanted to see who had been coming onto their property. What they captured was not what they expected. The first image showed nothing unusual, just the same quiet stretch of land. But in the second image, taken shortly after from the same camera, something had changed. There was now a figure standing in the tree line, and it does not look normal. Based on its position, this thing appears to stand around 8 to 9 feet tall. The proportions are off. The shoulders are unnaturally broad and the limbs are long and thin in a way that doesn't match a human frame. What makes this more unsettling is that the property owners had already noticed strange signs before setting up the cameras. Objects out of place, tattered clothing, items that looked like they'd been moved or disturbed over time. Some believe that points to something living on or passing through the land for a while. Others argue it could still be a person using the land illegally and that night vision cameras can distort how things appear. But when you focus on that figure in the tree line, the idea of a simple trespasser starts to feel a little less convincing. So what do you think was standing there in the dark?
Don't you find these kind of electrical bursts just amazing to watch? It's like mesmerizing almost, especially the simple fact that they seem to happen about 50 miles above thunderstorms. I mean, that's pretty high. But I've never seen one of these in person, and I would really like to. I mean, that's unbelievable. Would you look at that, man? The greatest firework display in the world is nature itself. I mean, let's be honest, that's true. Now, I'm not too sure about this next clip. Once again, you know what I think about fuzzy clips. I just think at this day and age they're trying to hide something. But apparently this is a dogman fighting a bear. I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't know. I mean, there's strange stuff out there, let's be honest. I don't really know what to think of this, to be honest with you, because the movements look kind of natural. I mean, they just do. So, I mean, maybe the guy got lucky and actually recorded something legit, but I don't know. You tell me, what do you think?
Okay, pop quiz. Now, what snake is that? It's long, I know, but do you know exactly what it is? No? Well, behold the king cobra, behold the snake eater, behold one of the most venomous snakes on this planet. Hey, beauty, yes, but a dangerous beauty. Most people have a very different image in their head of what a king cobra looks like. The king cobra is the longest venomous snake in the world. It's capable of growing up to 18 feet in length. Yeah, 18. The one in this footage is most likely a fully grown adult. Seeing it stretched out next to a person completely changes your sense of scale. King cobras are found across South and now Southeast Asia, living in forest, grasslands, and even near agricultural areas. They're apex predators, capable of taking down prey as large as monitor lizards or even other snakes, including pythons. Their venom is no joke. A single bite can deliver enough neurotoxin to shut down the nervous system of an animal far larger than itself, with the potential to kill something as massive as an elephant. It's easy to underestimate them until you see one like this. If you ever see one, avoid it and only admire it from afar. A group of visitors were touring one of America's most haunted hotels when someone took a photo inside one of the rooms and later noticed something in the window. Looking in from outside was a face, pale, still, pressed against the glass, staring into the room. And then things took a turn. A woman entered claiming to have spiritual abilities, describing herself as a medium. And as she walked in and began speaking, someone took another photograph of the same window, and the face had changed. That sad, almost lifeless expression was gone. In its place was something far more unsettling. Huge black eyes, a wide gaping mouth. The entire expression now looked aggressive, almost threatening. And this shift happened in the brief moment it took for the woman to enter the room. The history of the Crescent Hotel only adds to the unease. Built in 1886, it later operated as a cancer hospital under a fraudulent doctor who carried out experiments on patients, many of whom died there. Over the years, it's built a reputation as one of the most thoroughly documented paranormal locations in the United States. And what makes this moment harder to brush aside? Well, a face appears at the window and then changes the instant the self-described medium steps into the room. And that's a very specific reaction. So what do you think that face was responding to? And if you haven't already guessed, this is the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. UFO sightings across the United States have been picking up again in 2026, and this latest one comes out of New Jersey. It was filmed late at night by a witness who noticed something unusual in the sky and decided to start recording. When you zoom into the footage, what you're looking at does not resemble a plane or a drone. It's bright, steady orbs sitting in the sky holding a consistent light that doesn't flicker or pulse the way conventional aircraft lighting usually does. Orbs are one of the most commonly reported and least understood phenomena in both UAP research and paranormal investigation. At the simplest level, they're glowing spheres seen hovering or moving through the sky. Some believe they're advanced technology, others think they could be something else entirely, but in most cases, there's no clear answer. Which makes this sighting more interesting, and that's the location. New Jersey has a long history of UAP reports going back decades, with multiple incidents that were investigated and never fully explained to the public. So what are we looking at here? A drone, a natural atmospheric effect, or something we still don't understand? And if you're in New Jersey and have seen something like this before, well, what did it look like to you?
Now, quick commercial break. We got a bit of a hostage situation going on here. Let's take a look and see.
A hostage. She requested to receive a pack of candy within 2 minutes. The negotiation experts are dealing with her.
She's gonna make someone one hell of a wife one day.
Parents suddenly heard.
Can you imagine if she ever had a husband who cheated on her? I would not like to be that guy. My God.
Glitch in the Matrix videos have been around for years, but every now and then one shows up that's harder to dismiss than the rest. A woman started filming after noticing something strange. Her makeup concealer applicator had been broken for a while, the brush had snapped clean off, and she'd been using a Q-tip instead. That had become normal. Then one day she goes to do her makeup and the applicator is fully intact. No damage, no break, it looks exactly like it did before it ever snapped. So she starts recording, and you can hear it in her voice. She's trying to make sense of what she's seeing, but it's not coming together. It's not just confusion, it's genuine unease. And then the footage itself starts to change. The image begins to blur, the video shakes, it glitches while she's still recording, as if the camera is reacting to whatever's happening in that moment. That detail is what has people talking. The idea is that she caught the exact moment something shifted, and then whatever caused the object to restore itself also interfered with the recording. There have been cases where cameras and phones malfunction during unexplained events, which only adds to the theory. Of course, this could be staged, that always has to be considered, but she does come across like someone performing. Well, I don't think she does. She sounds unsettled, caught off guard by something she cannot explain. But that raises the question, is this one of the most convincing glitch clips we've ever seen yet, or just a very well done illusion?
Okay, now I'm legit getting mad, okay? Oh my God. Okay. This, I never broke this like that, okay? This was still attached. I don't know how I'm gonna... This, I don't know how the hell I broke this. This used to be hanging off, like it dangled. And I was using, quite literally, I was using... What do you call it? Oh my God, why is it doing, that's so weird. Whoa. I was using Q-tips to get my concealer out because I broke this. I'm getting so, I'm getting really, like my heart is racing. And why is my phone doing that? What? Oh my God.
Before we watch this next clip, how many of you believe the conspiracy theory that we already have vehicles and transport that run on water and different types of fuels that replace fossil fuels, and the people that have invented this stuff have been offed, have been unalived, have been killed, And their blueprints have been hidden away just until we get to a point where oil and petrol and fossil fuels supposedly run out. And then they can bring it up and pretend that they were invented by Esso or one of the big oil companies that goes suddenly, look what we come up with instead. You can buy this off of us instead.
Touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest with you. It's pretty obvious that this happens. You have to have no fucking common sense at all to think that it doesn't.
Touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline.
Oh, God, this guy again. This guy is kind of ruining my life when it comes to things to eat. Everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. Everybody knows that certain things are bad for you and you shouldn't put them in your mouth, but everything in moderation. Okay, come on, sir.
Lawsuit against the Costco chicken. One is claiming they've lied about the preservative situation, the other about possible contamination. And on top of that, that greasy chicken sits boiling hot. I can barely even touch it in this polypropylene bag. Now, usually they are BPA free, but they can still have BPF, BPS, other garbage plasticizers that can disrupt your hormone and were never meant to be ingested. There is a trade offer for you. Pay to smell like a synthetic car freshener and get your hormone destroyed at the same time. A deal that surprisingly a lot of people here at Costco are making every day. These laundry scent pod are synthetic fragrance, and when we see fragrance on the label, it's a legal loophole. We have no idea what it means. Anytime they contain phthalates, which are massive hormone disruptors or linked to lower testosterone, fertility, your clothes, your bed sheet, your underwears, you are literally wrapped in this all day, breathing this in. And
Last time I understood about hormones, that's because I made them, I was gonna say, I ain't even gonna go there. That's not even a joke I'm gonna say.
While we're still on this subject of glitches, this next video is one of the most classic examples. Planes or helicopters appearing stuck mid-air. Most of the time, the easiest explanation is a parallax effect, something we all experience without thinking about it, but this one is different. It was captured in 2026, and as you can see, people in the neighborhood stopped what they were doing just to record it. When the camera pans across the sky, there it is, a helicopter hovering in place. You can still hear the engine running, everything sounds normal, but the aircraft doesn't move, it's frozen in mid-air. Some will insist it's just a visual trick, a parallax illusion, and that's always possible. But the way the engine sounds, the people reacting in real time, and the way the camera tracks it makes this feel far more than that. What do you think was really happening to that helicopter?
All right, everybody sees me walking. I'm walking. Look. This plane isn't moving. It's not moving. But it sounds like it's moving.
CGI had its moment, but AI has completely taken over. Now it's hard to tell what's real from what's fake. And that matters for this next clip, which is claimed to be footage from 2002 of hikers who encountered something in the mountains. The hikers heard what sounded like a goat bleeping somewhere above them on the mountain, and when they looked up, what emerged from the cave was not a goat. It was a large, heavily built creature covered in animal skin with one enormous eye in the center of its face. It let out a sound that mimicked the bleating almost exactly and then walked back into the cave. In 2002, well, this would have been either real footage or CGI. In 2026, we have to add a third possibility. Someone could have used modern AI to generate the clip and applied a vintage filter to make it look old, and that cannot be ruled out. But what makes this one linger is the way the creature moves and the sound it produces. There is a natural flow that AI still struggles to replicate, especially in footage meant to be over 20 years old. Did those hikers really find something living in that mountain, or is this just a very convincing hoax?
Oh man. Holy
Most
Okay, birds with strange markings. What does that remind you of? Drone birds, right? So, okay, if I'm getting this guy right, these things are normal, and drone bird thing is what? It's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to throw us off the trail. Let's just take a look and see what this is all about.
This today. Look at this.
Guess what, guys? This is 100% real. Also, guess what, though? This doesn't prove that these are drones. The intro here is a little bit more lighthearted. This video shows a man fanning out a pigeon's wings, shining a UV light, and anywhere that the light is shown, we can see these very strange characters shining through. It looks
Right,
very...
homing pigeons, they are given markings, right? Animals are given markings to prove that their owners who they say they are. I don't think this has anything to do with drones. I just think this is some new fangled technology, like an invisible ink kind of stuff that you could shine one of those torches on that you take around hotel rooms to see if anybody's had sex all over the ceiling or whatever, you know? One of those sorts of torches. And they're shining it on a pigeon instead. Oh, man.
I just caught this today. Look at this.
Guess what, guys? This is 100% real. Also, guess what, though? This doesn't prove that these are drones. The intro here is a little bit more lighthearted. This video shows a man fanning out a pigeon's wings, shining a UV light, and anywhere that the light is shown, we can see these very strange characters shining through. It looks very...
The idea of having doppelgangers of ourselves somewhere in the world has fascinated people for centuries. While it's considered a theory or a fun concept, some claim it might be closer to fact than fiction.
Disculpa, ¿este es el barrio del Encanto o tú eres el encanto de este barrio? Mira.
Take this recent footage as an example. A man walking through the streets of Colombia stumbled upon a young woman who bore an uncanny resemblance to actress Scarlett Johansson. While her face was slightly rounder, the similarities were striking enough to make them look like twins. While some chalk it up to the limited variability in human features across the global population, others find the idea of doppelgangers eerie compelling. What's your take? Is this just a random resemblance, or could there be more to the concept of having another you out there in the world? Maybe glitches, government experiments? Sounds crazy, but you never really know.
Disculpa, ¿este es el barrio del Encanto o tú eres el encanto de este barrio? Mira.
If that made you throw your phone away, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that's what happened to me the first time I watched the clip without warning, but if that happened to you, you're not alone. This was uploaded by a guy who states that he was attacked by aliens on the way out of his apartment one day. I can't imagine what it would feel like to be attacked by aliens, but I can positively state that it's not an experience I would be looking forward to. As always, we delved in to make sure the clip was not doctored. Our in-house video editor scrutinized the clip and realized there was nothing wrong with it. But Julius, our science guy, wanted to have a look, so we mailed it to him, and he thought the clip was fake. He states that although it's convincing due to the sudden attack, he looked at the creature's attack and realized that aside from the hands moving, its upper body was unusually stiff. He looked at the clip a few more times and believed it had to be a puppet or a bad pranking costume. What's your take? I've seen things, I really have. In this line of work, however, there's always going to be something beyond what you've experienced. That, for me, is this first clip.
It's very eerie standing in a spot where somebody has perished. This is an old 1883, I think it said? 1807? I don't remember. And I have to see that literally somebody died in here. There is a body. Well, they're probably not anymore, but
it's bones.
A body in the bottom. Look,
no, I'm sure they probably
can't even see the bottom. Here. Actually, it shows up pretty good on camera here. There is something at the bottom of that freaking well.
You know how it feels to own one of those houses from the 18th or 19th centuries. It gives you this feeling of accomplishment, connection, and what have you. Sometimes, however, it leaves you with an eerie feeling. These individuals have been enjoying their home until they discovered this well, which had a dead body in it. I don't know how I would feel about discovering a dead body in a well on my property. Fortunately for them, it didn't appear to be a recent death and seems to have occurred centuries ago. There's one disturbing thing, though. Even after the body was moved out of the place, the family still felt there was something or someone down there. It was a feeling they couldn't explain. So a paranormal investigator was invited over, and surely enough, when they looked down, there was a pair of eyes looking back up at them. As expected, this left the family shaken. But the good news, or at least I think it's good news, is that whatever it was, it didn't feel like leaving the well. It only looked up at them from down below. This has led to the conclusion that whatever it is, it's the ghost of a girl who died. With that conclusion in mind, they decided to leave it alone. That sounds plausible, but what if they were seeing something that wasn't the ghost of a girl, but the spirit responsible for her death? For this one, I'm just gonna shush and let you watch.
Wow. Oh la la. Oh wow. Oh, a big wave, eh? No? Oh la la. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like a sheep.
Mama Nature is beautiful, isn't she? How many of you knew it was possible for a glacier to flip? If you didn't know that, consider this your free tuition. If you're waiting for the conspiracy, well, there's none. I just thought this was beautiful. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this can happen. And this happens many times.
Ei, vocês ao prédio, abram uma coisa. Abram.
This intriguing footage captures a striking phenomenon. One half of the horizon is cloaked in a massive solid gray cloud, while the other half remains bright blue, adorned with small, fluffy white clouds. The sharp divide between these two halves of the sky has left many viewers scratching their heads. Interestingly, such dramatic contrasts often have natural explanations. It could be a large, isolated cloud formation like a cumulonimbus or stratus cloud, which can form distinct patches due to differing air currents. Another explanation might be a weather front, a boundary where two contrasting air masses collide. For instance, a cold front could push a dense layer of cloud into one area while leaving the surrounding sky clear and bright. Although this phenomenon is likely a product of atmospheric dynamics, its unusual appearance can't help but spark speculation. What's your take? Is this just a fascinating weather event, or could there be something more to the story? Next up, we've got a very confusing piece of footage. In a remote location, a group of locals is gathered around what looks like a very large cloth on the ground, but it's not exactly a cloth. It resembles the shape of a giant gorilla. There's a man holding a traditional fan in one hand and a bell in the other. He circles around this costume, ringing the bell, and eventually stops at what seems to be the head of the figure. He then uses his fan to tap on the head repeatedly, and you can see the costume start to inflate, slowly coming to life. It stands firm, and as the upper torso rises, it now looks like a real gorilla. When it stands up, its back is to the camera, making the scene even more eerie. The audience visibly reacts with fear as the creature begins to move toward them. The whole scene is surreal. It looks incredibly real, yet it could easily be a trick. Julius thinks it's just a clever illusion, but Aaron believes it might be some form of African black magic since the footage was taken in Africa. It's hard to tell what's going on here, whether it's an elaborate hoax or traditional ritual or something else entirely, but what do you think? This footage is an interview with Elon Musk by Jordan Peterson, where Musk mentions that Grok 3, a new AI system, is expected to be released by December. According to Musk, Grok 3 will be the most powerful AI in the world. Grok 3 is designed as an advanced chatbot with deep learning capabilities, human-like reasoning, and the ability to handle complex tasks across various domains. But isn't this the same person who previously warned that AI could be dangerous if humans don't slow down its development? Yet here he is, creating what he claims to be the most powerful AI ever. Grok 3 raises questions about the balance between innovation and caution. Should we be worried? Or do you think Elon has everything under wraps?
Presta atención a lo que va a suceder. Mira. Los tipos desapareció. Por eso, mira que los tipos están conversando y pasan desapercibidos de lo que está aconteciendo a su alrededor. Es como especie de un espectro. Mira. Nuevamente se aparece y desaparece.
The video shows 3 men sitting outside their home at night, chatting and engrossed in their phones. While they seem unaware, a small miniature humanoid figure briskly walks by on the opposite side of their gathering. The first pass goes unnoticed. Later, the creature walks by again, but none of the men react. As the footage continues, the small figure moves back and forth repeatedly, yet the men remain oblivious until the clip ends. What could have held the men's attention so strongly that they failed to notice such a peculiar presence nearby? Could it be that they were distracted by their conversation, or perhaps they couldn't perceive the creature at all in real time? Skeptics argue that it might be a cleverly edited video. Others suggest that the figure could be something supernatural, like the ghost of a child, given its humanoid appearance. Believers in folklore propose that it could indeed be a duende. What about you? What do you think it is?
Es como especie de un espectro. Mira. Nuevamente se aparece y desaparece.
A traveler who flew into Cleveland Hopkins International Airport yesterday and is now being observed, isolated and observed for flu-like symptoms.
The impact of COVID-19 is still fresh in our minds, and now a concerning report has emerged. In Cleveland, a man who recently arrived from Congo was hospitalized with a severe flu-like illness. Authorities acted swiftly, quarantining him and monitoring those who came into contact with him to prevent potential spread. Reports from Congo indicate the presence of a similar flu-like sickness that has tragically claimed lives in the region. This has raised alarm since it's similar to what happened with COVID-19, but was dismissed as a common flu until the situation spiraled into a global crisis. Health officials are working diligently to identify the nature of this illness, ensuring containment and care. While we don't yet know if this is the start of something more serious, the incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and early intervention. Let's prioritize safety, stay informed, and take precautions as we await further updates. I'm pretty sure none of us is ready for another global pandemic.
A traveler who flew into Cleveland Hopkins International Airport yesterday and is now being observed, isolated and observed for flu-like symptoms.
This footage was shared by a homeowner who had a chilling experience the night before. She was woken up at around 3 a.m. by the sounds of barking and howling from the dogs in the neighborhood. But there was one particular bark that sounded very strange coming from her porch. Too scared to go outside, she decided to wait until morning. When the sun finally rose, she retrieved the video from a security camera that overlooked the porch, and what she saw was terrifying. Perched at the tip of the roof just outside her home was a figure with a pale head and a pair of glowing eyes. The creature's hands, which were clawed, gripped onto the roof's edge. The woman believed that this was a Skinwalker, a shapeshifter from Native American folklore known for mimicking the sounds of animals and sometimes even humans to lure the victims outside. The odd barking and growling on a porch that night might have been the Skinwalker trying to trick her into coming out. The eerie footage has left her and many others deeply unsettled. I think she should just move, don't you agree?
They're wide.
Somebody said that there's a guy on here saying they ain't seen prints yet.
A group of explorers ventured deep into the woods at night, armed with only their cameras and torches. The dense forest was eerily quiet, the only sounds being the crunch of leaves beneath their feet and the distant hoot of an owl. Suddenly one of them stopped dead in their tracks, his torchlight illuminating something on the ground. There, embedded in the soft earth, was a massive, human-like footprint. It wasn't just one, they found two colossal footprints side by side, along with a large handprint pressed into the ground as if something enormous had crouched down. They believed that these prints belonged to the elusive Bigfoot. Just look at that. What do you think it is?
Well, you know what? I mean...
Can you put your foot beside of it?
Oh my God.
It's definitely bigger than our foot wide.
That is...
Humans are limited in their sensory perception, which can be both humbling and alarming to consider. Our hearing range is between 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and our visual spectrum, spanning wavelengths of approximately 430 to 770 terahertz, only covers small fractions of the broader electromagnetic and auditory spectrum. This limitation means we are effectively blind and deaf to a huge array of phenomena occurring at higher frequencies or beyond our range of vision. For instance, ultraviolet and infrared light, which other creatures like bees and snakes can detect, remain hidden from human sight. Similarly, ultrasonic and infrasonic sounds are imperceptible to our ears, but are crucial for communication amongst certain animals such as bats and elephants. These sensory gaps raise fascinating and unsettling questions. Could there be entities, energies, or even worlds that exist just beyond our perception? Are aliens a part of the world we are unable to see? Stepping away from the scientific debates, let's look at something right up our alley: ghosts. The image on your screen was captured by a group of friends at Blackar Canyon in Orange County. It was shared by user DJS Skeptics seeking answers. If you pay attention to the image, especially to the left side, you should see what looks like a faint image of a boy in the shadows. The group was supposed to be alone when they took the picture, so seeing another boy in the background really spooked them, and they uploaded it to a paranormal group seeking answers. They did get some answers, but it was not necessarily what they were expecting. The image was not pareidolia or a trick of the light. No, it turns out that some school children died in a car crash not far from where they took the picture. Ever since the incident, people have always reported seeing images of little children in the area. This is one of the few times they have actually been captured on camera. At least that's what we're told, though some remain skeptical. There's no logical or paranormal explanation. What do you think?
That is definitely not a terrifying sound.
A hiker, while in the middle of the woods, started to hear this strange howl. The sound went on for quite a while until it came to a stop. This wasn't a call from any known creature in the wilderness, which made everything eerie. When they shared the video online, one comment stood out. The suggestion reignited age-old debates about the existence of cryptids. Bigfoots have long been a figure of folklore and conspiracy, with countless sightings and reports but no definitive proof. Naturally, this has got people searching for proof of his existence. Are these hair-raising howls the cause of the elusive Bigfoot, or an unknown creature lurking in the wilderness? Either of these will be a game-changer, unless, of course, it's merely an elaborate prank being played on our credulous ears. Hopefully not.
That is definitely not a terrifying sound.
The world is full of stories about strange and mysterious creatures. Some are proven to be hoaxes, while others remain intriguing mysteries. This particular footage might keep you up at night for days, maybe. In the video, a humanoid figure is covered in thick, shiny hair, both fascinating and frightening. At first, this creature seems like a new addition to the cryptid lore. However, the truth behind this creature is less mysterious. It's a well-crafted prop from a horror movie, Hail the Rotma. If you've seen it, then you know that this creature is the raw monster in Sewage. Without prior knowledge, however, if you were to run into this in the dark, you may die of a heart attack. The filmmakers did an incredible job of designing a creature so detailed that it definitely looks real. The creature's mouth and grotesque head show the exceptional craftsmanship involved, don't you agree? If you've ever wondered what two of your brain cells interacting looks like, then you are in luck. Believe it or not, these are what your brain cells look like when they're doing a mentally draining task. Unlike us, they don't talk in words. Their conversation happens through intricate signals transmitted across tiny gaps called synapses. While this is an oversimplification of the fascinating science behind their chatting, we still have to admit that it looks impressive. This exchange is what powers everything we do, from thinking and feeling to moving and remembering. Every thought or sensation is the result of billions of these tiny conversations happening in your brain every second. I don't know about you, but this makes me think of space and the way our universe looks. What if our existence is just within a much larger being, and we are all just parts of that larger being functioning to keep him functioning? You know what? Let's move on to the next clip before I hurt myself. A security camera set in an alleyway captured a peculiar scene. A man was walking through the alley when something moved on the roof of a nearby house, catching his attention. He glanced up, but saw nothing unusual and continued on his way. Upon zooming in on the roof, however, two strange creatures come into view. They appear to have wings and a long tail and could be either four or two-legged. Their appearance resembled small winged dinosaurs. Could these creatures be bats or large birds distorted by the angle and lighting, or is this something more unusual, perhaps cryptids or even an elaborate hoax? What do you think these creatures could be? UFO sightings continue to fuel ongoing discussions and capture public interest. Reports of unidentified flying objects frequently make headlines, and the topic seems to be gaining momentum. This recent sighting comes from Germany, where an observer reported seeing a distinct triangular-shaped object in the sky. Given the prevalence of drones in modern airspace, it's important to consider the possibility that this sighting may be attributed to terrestrial technology. However, the question remains, could this mysterious aerial object be evidence of extraterrestrial visitation? While mourners were gathered at a funeral ceremony of a deceased woman, something strange happened. One of the wreaths that was placed on a metal stand began to move. The whole metal stand and the wreath swayed back and forth, and this began to stir a commotion among the mourners. They start to cry hysterically because they assume the dead lady is trying to talk to them. We've heard some of these things happen in cultures around the world. This, however, is one of the first times it's been recorded. What do you think? Real, staged, or something else entirely with a more logical explanation? Please share your thoughts on this one. Let's head to the UK, where intense winds are wreaking havoc. It's just one more chapter in a string of extreme weather events across the globe. Some folks are saying that Earth is fed up with humans and is trying to shake us off. Honestly, I've got a few theories of my own. But jokes aside, why are we seeing so many strange weather phenomena back to back? Could it be climate change amping up the intensity and frequency of these events? Shifts in atmospheric patterns, or perhaps it's just the natural cycles of weather hitting us a little harder than usual? What's your take? Is it science, bad luck, or something more ominous? Let's hear your theories. If bugs make you uncomfortable, skip ahead by 30 seconds. If you're still here, we can assume you are unfazed by them.
Okay, so I thought this was dust for like a week. And then if you look really closely, it turns out that they're little tiny bugs. And I'm freaking out because they're literally everywhere in my kitchen.
This young lady on your screen has a bug infestation problem unlike any you have ever seen in your life. Well, a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. She's got bugs that look like little dots, and they kinda get everywhere. Her walls, desks, and even her bottles. She initially thought it was dust until the dust began to move. She tried all she could to get rid of them, but nothing seemed to be working. She tried asking for help on our platforms, and surely enough, she received the much-needed help. It turns out they're called grain mites, and she's not the only one who have had them visiting. Has any of you had to deal with these? Which method did you find to be most effective in getting rid of them? She might just be watching the video.
They like to gather on the corners. Does anyone know what these are? Please tell me. I need help.
Dude, what kind of boat is that? What? Is that like somebody's yacht?
Some men captured this strange sight out at sea. It looks like some sort of building with the top part visible above the water. But here's the unsettling part. This isn't a static structure. It's moving almost like a ship. The last time I checked, ships don't look like this. So what type of ship is this? Does anyone have any idea what this could be? The sheer size and unusual appearance of this vessel is baffling. Is it some kind of advanced maritime technology, or perhaps something entirely different?
Is that like somebody's yacht? Yo, this is like my Star Wars Jabba.
In this video, you can see a crowd of people gathered, all looking up at the sky in awe. The focus of their attention? A ball of fire streaks across the sky, trailing flames as it moves. There's no context provided for what's happening, but the people seem strangely happy, almost celebratory. The fiery object appears to be some sort of comet or meteor hurling towards the Earth, its tail of flames creating a spectacular display against the night sky. But what makes this scene even more intriguing is the reaction of the crowd. Instead of fear or concern, there's an air of excitement, as if they're witnessing something significant, perhaps even divine. In various religions, the sight of a falling star or celestial event is often interpreted as a sign from the heavens, a message from the divine. Could this be what the people in the video are experiencing? Are they seeing this fiery spectacle as a symbol of something greater, a sign of divine intervention, or is it simply a rare and breathtaking natural phenomenon? We've got a clip from a man who was driving home one evening through a quiet stretch of road near the woods in North Carolina. The sun had set and the road was dark and eerie. As he was almost home, his dash cam picked up something strange that left him unsettled. The footage shows a bipedal creature darting into the woods. It's covered in dark fur from head to toe, standing somewhere between 6 and 7 feet tall. At first glance, it almost resembles an ape, but there is something distinctly off about it. When the footage is slowed down, the creature's movements and appearance seem unusual, almost unnatural. Its gait is surprisingly human-like, which has led to only one logical conclusion: Bigfoot. Unless, of course, you're our scientific whiz Julius who doesn't believe in such things. Your conclusion will be that it's fake. Many in the paranormal community, however, believe this is the real deal, and I'm not surprised. The clip is very convincing, but I want to hear your opinions too. What's your take on this one? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the guy who accidentally steps in this water. While the alligator may be smaller than the croc, it's no less dangerous. Just in case you missed it, there's an alligator lying in wait with its mouth open in the water. Sometimes gators do that while hunting. It's an effective tool that seems to get their prey with high success rates. If you see this behavior on land, that is, a gator with its mouth open like that, it may be engaging in what scientists call thermoregulation, but more of that in our video. Just keep your eyes out when in gator-infested areas or water bodies. You have been warned. This next one is an alleged footage of a UFO sighting captured in a remote mountain area. What you're about to hear is strange, to say the least. The video begins with a mysterious craft hovering in the sky, emitting a strange pulsating beam of light. The beam seems to scan the area below before suddenly retracting back into the craft. Then, just as the tension builds, there's a fiery explosion, and in an instant, the craft vanishes without a trace. At first glance, the footage seems eerily convincing, like a genuine encounter with something not of this world. But as the video plays on, especially toward the end, something feels off. The explosion and the sudden disappearance of the craft raises suspicions. Could this be the result of clever editing, designed to make us question what's real and what's not? So what do you think? A YouTuber was filming in the woods when he stumbled upon something eerie, a smoke-like figure among the trees. At first glance, it's so faint that you might miss it entirely, but if you look closely, you'll notice that it has a distinctly human shape. The figure seems to blend in with the shadows, almost as if it's part of the forest itself. As soon as the man behind the camera realized what he was seeing, terror took over. He didn't stick around to investigate. Instead, he bolted out of there as fast as he could, clearly shaken by the experience. Shadow figures like this are a strange phenomenon that people have reported all over the world. They're often described as dark, misty shapes that resemble humans but are more elusive and mysterious. This one, however, is white, not dark. Could this be another encounter with one of these shadowy entities, or is there something else at play here?
Someone called the cops on these lights.
On December the 4th, 2024, a woman driving at night through Orange County encountered something extraordinary. She pulled over and began filming as strange lights hovered above the ocean in a distinct triangular formation, the point facing downward. Moments later, the lights began to descend into the water, escalating the mystery. Just then, police cars sped by with their sirens blaring, adding an eerie twist to the unfolding scene. Orange County has long been whispered about as a UFO hotspot, with some speculating about hidden underwater alien bases in the area. Could these lights be proof of something otherworldly, or is there a simpler explanation, like drones or a light show? If that's the case, where were the sirens rushing to, and why was this not covered in the news? So many questions, yet little to no answers. What's your take? Coincidence, technology, or something truly out of this world?
Someone called the cops on these lights.
That is a spaceship like a... That is a... Tell me what else that could be. That's a spaceship. They found a spaceship.
A woman driving on the highway found herself behind a truck carrying a massive disc-shaped object covered in a cloth and securely tied down. The object's shape bore a striking resemblance to a UFO. Could this be the real deal? Many are skeptical that the government or any agency would transport something as sensitive as a UFO in plain sight, especially in broad daylight. It seems counterintuitive for a subject surrounded by secrecy and controversy to be handled so openly. On the other hand, some believe this could be a calculated move, either as a deliberate misdirection or as an unclassified transport of something mundane that happens to resemble a UFO. Others propose it could simply be a prop for a movie or a piece of experimental equipment unrelated to extraterrestrials. What do you think?
That is a spaceship like a... That is a... Tell me what else that could be. That's a spaceship. They found a spaceship.
Late-night rides are very thrilling and calming, but then they say the devil always comes out to play in the night. In the quiet of the night, a group of friends set out on a late drive, seeking the tranquil atmosphere that comes with the night. But their expectations are shattered when they encounter something chilling along the road. In the dim light, they spot a figure dressed in a blood-red robe standing by the roadside. Its presence just gives you this haunting feeling. The friends who saw this just sped out of there in fear. But what was that figure? Was it a ghost, a spirit, or something more sinister? You tell me. What's going on here? This man can be seen striking what looks like a fish-like creature with a metal, but instead of cutting through, there are sparks of fire. The intense sparks suggest a strong interaction between the man's tool and the creature's metallic coating, but the true story behind this encounter remains a puzzle, leaving us wonder about the creature's true origin and purpose. Could it be a living being with a strange metal coating, or something a bit more extraterrestrial? We'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. If you have proof that this is a carefully crafted hoax, please don't hesitate to share. Is our world the result of evolution, or was it purposely designed? Most often, scientists love to think most of the things around us evolved into being. Take this soldier turtle ant, for instance, a remarkable species known for its unique turtle-like appearance and specialized role within its colony. These ants are often called turtle ants due to their flattened disc-shaped heads which resemble a turtle's shell. This unique trait allows them to block the entrances of their nests, typically found in hollow branches or cavities, serving as living shields to protect the colony from intruders. Was this designed, or did they evolve to do this? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Speaking of conspiracies, take a look at this footage from Utah. What comes to mind when you see this capture? And no, I'm not referring to the X trail in the sky, although that's also a tad suspicious. Look closely toward the middle. Do you see the dark being or creature there? Yep, the individuals who sent this in accidentally captured it and shared it online. Once they did, it didn't take long for another individual who had explored the area to share this footage. I don't need to tell you who this is, right? This big guy has apparently been living in and exploring the area. It's been captured one too many times by explorers, and it doesn't seem to care. It probably feels like, well, no one will believe those sharing the clips and footage because Bigfoots aren't real. Just like some of you are struggling to believe if this is real or not. Scientific advancements continue to pave the way for innovative inventions that are rapidly becoming integral parts of our reality. One such groundbreaking invention is the infrared vein finder, a remarkable medical intervention that revolutionizes the process of locating veins in the human body. This cutting-edge device operates by emitting specific wavelength lights that are absorbed by the blood, effectively causing the veins to become visible under the skin. As demonstrated in the accompanying footage, the veins appear as glowing lines on the skin's surface when the infrared light is projected, eliminating the need for invasive and often uncomfortable methods of locating veins. It represents a remarkable advancement in medical technology and has the potential to improve patient care and comfort. What are your thoughts on these remarkable advancements in medical technology? Do we need to slow down, or do we need to move even faster? Knowing what you know about our planet, would you lay eggs here if you were an alien? I know most of you might say no, but if our next clip is to be believed, then the alien clearly didn't get the memo. Two guys were exploring one of the cold regions of Utah when they came across this. First glance, no one could really tell what this is. So they got closer to the strange pattern in the ice, and one of them touched it. Yeah, touched it. First off, don't go putting your hands in strange and unfamiliar things. Secondly, whatever you do, if it looks bizarre or alien, don't even touch it or get near it. That's not what these guys did, however. They got close and even touched it. After touching it, the one who did stated that it was slimy. As if that wasn't a big enough cue to leave, they stayed around and filmed some more. After they had enough clips, they uploaded it online, and that's when the conspiracies started. Some thought it had to be an alien egg. In fact, this theory was paraded around and accepted by most. Just when it looked like the answer had been found, someone came in and stated that it had to be a hoax. This necessitated us to dig further, and then we discovered the unthinkable. This was actually no alien egg. It was actually an art project by an art student. A disappointing but remarkable piece of info. Kudos to the art student for fooling a whole community. Impressive stuff. Mining is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Even those with the right equipment, proper gear, and safety protocols are still at serious risk. So imagine what it's like for those who have none of that, especially illegal miners. For many people, particularly in developing countries, mining is their only source of income, even if it means risking their lives every single day. One man recently shared a video showing how they go about this work, and let me tell you, it's terrifying to watch. You see them loading explosives into the rocky walls of a narrow tunnel. There's no heavy machinery and no protective gear, just bare hands. Once the explosives are in place, they light the fuse and have just a few seconds to run. If anyone miscalculates even slightly, if someone stumbles or reacts too slowly, that's it. One wrong move and the entire tunnel could collapse, or worse, they could be caught in the explosion itself. It's what people are forced to do just to make a living. The risks they take daily would be unthinkable for most of us. But for them, it's either that or nothing at all. While you share your opinions on that, I have this clip from Europe that captures another UFO sighting. Personally, this is one of the strangest looking UFOs I've ever seen. The uploader insists it's real, but my video editor has questions. At some points in the video, the UFO fails to have consistency. According to him, it's almost as though the image of the UFO was taken and then placed in the video. And when he said that, I watched the video over and over again and couldn't get the thought out of my mind. You guys take a look as well. Do you agree? This footage was taken in Virginia back in the 1800s, and it's as eerie as it gets. A man had ventured up into the mountains, hoping to capture some stunning footage of the wilderness, but what he ended up recording was something far more unsettling. As he panned his camera toward the entrance of a cave, he noticed something unusual, something that made his blood run cold. There, deep in the shadows of the cave, were a pair of 3 glowing eyes staring back at him. The eyes were fixed on him, unblinking, almost as if they were studying him. The man was so terrified that he abandoned his camera on the spot and fled down the mountain. The next day, he returned to the cave with some help, determined to retrieve his camera. When he finally got it back and reviewed the footage, the sight of those eyes sent chills down his spine all over again. The footage clearly showed the glowing eyes and dark shadowy figures lurking in the cave. He became convinced that what he had encountered was a family of Bigfoot living deep within the mountains. The idea of Bigfoot has always been a mystery, but this image taken before AI was a thing is very convincing. What do you think? Now take a look at this disturbing footage. Thousands of dead fish were collected at a Greek port, their lifeless bodies creating a haunting image, a sea of death. Just look at the tragic sight. When scientists arrived to investigate the scene, their conclusion was clear. This devastating event is linked to climate change. Rising temperatures, pollution, and changes in ocean currents are taking a severe toll on marine life. Climate change, one of the most pressing and discussed topics of our time. It's an issue that's constantly in the spotlight, and for good reason. The climate is changing rapidly, and human activities are largely to blame. Some people spotted a tiny creature in the woods, and honestly, this one is bizarre. The creature was wearing a robe, walking slowly across the forest floor. It was very small, but then when you focus on its features, it almost looks like Yoda from Star Wars. It was seen pulling a garden gnome out of the ground and then walking away with it. Its body slightly hunched, head tilted downward as it moved. With all the strange things captured on camera lately, the paranormal community wasn't too shocked by this footage. Some felt it was an alien, perhaps a smaller species of alien. Some even started arguing that there's a chance that aliens could be smaller beings or have the ability to make themselves small. They argued that if this was the case, then the gnomes and goblins people have been seen in the past are nothing more than aliens. When you think about it like that, it does make sense. If aliens were smaller or had the ability to make themselves small, then they could probably be living amongst us undetected because, we wouldn't be looking out for small creatures when we think alien. As interesting as that sounds, skeptics couldn't help but notice something odd. The way the creature moves and the slightly unnatural appearance makes some believe this could be a CGI creation rather than a real entity. You've seen the clip and heard both sides of the argument, so which do you agree with? Have you ever heard of the hide behind before? Well, take a look at this footage. It was captured on a trail camera deep in the forest. And if you watch closely on the right side of the screen, you'll see an arm quickly slide behind a tree. But here's the creepy part. We never see who or what the arm belongs to. Now, if you're familiar with old logging folklore, you might know that not every lumberjack who went into the forest came back out. And many of those disappearances were blamed on the hide-behind. As the name suggests, these creatures are said to lurk behind trees, always just out of sight. They watch their victims, waiting for the perfect moment, and when you least expect it, they snatch you away into the unknown. Legends say they're extremely dangerous, and you'll never see their true form, only glimpses of a shadow, an arm, or part of their body peeking from behind a tree. So if you're ever alone in the woods and suddenly feel like something is watching you, don't ignore it, because if it's a hide behind, you might not get the chance to run.
And I just saw a Bigfoot. A Bigfoot went up into that cave. I just saw oh my God.
This man claims he just saw a Bigfoot. He was hiking up a mountain when he says he spotted a Bigfoot ahead of him at the top heading into a cave. The man sounds out of breath and quite shaken, but strangely he didn't manage to capture any footage of the creature itself, only his panic reaction after the sighting. There are indeed reports that Bigfoot might inhabit mountainous areas, adding a layer of credibility to his claim. However, the absence of visual evidence raises doubts. It's not uncommon for people to see something unusual and not be able to record it in time, but it also opens the door for skepticism. So should we take his word for it, or is it more likely to be a hoax or a misidentification?
Bigfoot went up into that cave. I just saw oh my God.
This next footage captures the night sky, and there's something peculiar going on behind the clouds. Let's take a look. Do you see it? A glowing circle is visible, but it's not an orb. It looks flat, almost like a disc. What's really strange is that this object is moving slowly behind the clouds, not staying in one place like you might expect. We're not entirely sure what this could be. Aaron suggests it might be a portal, but typically portals are static, not moving through the sky. So could this be some sort of UFO, or is it just an elaborate hoax? Share your thoughts.
Speaking of darkness and shadows, What do you do when an unexpected light shines through the dark unexpectedly? Well, for some it's a sign of hope. But when you're outside your home and expecting no such thing, you start to wonder if the aliens are finally here. That's exactly what the individual who uploaded this clip was thinking when he did. He believed he'd captured a UFO moving through the skies, and many in the community agreed. He didn't, however, disclose where he captured the clip when he did it and if others saw it too. This has made a number of individuals skeptical in the community, but minus those few, almost everyone who saw this particular clip believes it's legitimate. What about you? This next video was making the rounds online, and it's said to have been leaked from a secret facility. According to the claims, it was filmed inside a hidden cave system that connects to an underground room sealed off by a heavy metal door. And what was behind that door was something completely unexplainable. In the footage, we see a yellowish humanoid creature estimated to be about 8 to 9 feet tall. Its eyes are completely hollow. As the people holding the camera peer through the bars, the creature suddenly lunges forward, causing them all to scream and stumble back in panic. You can hear the terror in their voices, and the video cuts just as chaos erupts. So what was that thing? Some are calling it a cryptid, others believe it could be an experiment gone wrong, something bred in a lab. If that's the case, I wonder how many more of these things are out there. Back in 2022, a group of people were touring Alaska when they noticed something unusual on the water's surface. There was some kind of creature moving beneath the water, and on the surface you could see several bumps rising and falling, almost like they belonged to a single massive body. The thing is, no one knows what it was. With the ocean being one of the most unexplored parts of the Earth, it wouldn't be surprising if this was some kind of undiscovered sea monster. Because when you look at the movement, whatever this was seemed incredibly long and massive. Unless, of course, it's AI and CGI at work. Have you ever wondered how portals came about? Because we have footage of a man experiencing strange events in his garage, and many believe this could be the portal opening up. It all started when he was woken up in the middle of the night by strange, vibrating sounds. Confused, he got up to check his living room but saw nothing out of place. But as he was about to head back to bed, he glanced out of the window towards his shed, and that's when he noticed something odd. The shed door was slightly open, then slowly closed like something had slipped inside. Thinking it might be an intruder, he rushed outside to check, and when he got there, nothing was there. Determined to find out what was going on, he set up a camera to monitor the shed, hoping to catch who or what was entering and leaving. But here's where things got even weirder. The footage never captured anyone physically entering or leaving, only the door opening and closing by itself. And the vibrating sounds would start and stop randomly with no explanation. One night, as the vibration started again, he decided to run outside immediately, and that's when he saw it. A tall black figure standing right beside the shed. It looked humanoid, but there was something off about it, almost like it wasn't fully solid. And the moment it noticed him, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread. When he shared his footage and experience online, almost everyone said the same thing. They believed that there could be a portal inside his shed, allowing entities to come and go, which might explain the door movement and vibrations. But if that's true, how did the portal suddenly appear? Portals don't just open out of nowhere, do they? Does anyone have any idea what could be going on here? So I know how y'all hate blurry clips, but I have a question. Someone sent this clip in claiming it's one of the clips that she'd always found disturbing. She wanted to believe there was Bigfoot in there, but the quality of the clip is so bad she's having a hard time deciding. She wanted to know if you guys could help out. This one wasn't for me to analyze. Since she requested your opinions, I'll let you guys do this one, and I'll be reading the comments. This next footage comes from the Appalachian Mountains. A woman was outside her cabin one morning standing on a porch when she heard a sound. It was the clear cry of a baby coming from somewhere in the woods. She was completely alone, and the nearest neighbor was miles away, so she pulled out her phone and began filming. She slowly panned a camera toward the tree line, but there was no one there. The Appalachian Mountains are famous for strange happenings like this. People hear voices, see things that aren't there, and sometimes they follow those sounds into the trees only to never come back. Locals believe the woods are alive in a way we don't understand. Some say it's spirits, others believe it's something far older. But whatever it is, it doesn't feel friendly at all. Would you have gone into the forest to find that crying baby? Next, I have two clips from two different witnesses, recorded on the same day, but at different times and both in the US. What makes them special? Well, both of them believe they heard the cry of a dragon in the sky. Let's take a look. The first clip was from Philadelphia. A man in Philadelphia was filming a beautiful golden sunset when he suddenly heard a loud, eerie sound from above. It was like the cry of a massive creature. The second clip comes from Dallas. This one was deeper, booming, almost thunderous, as if something huge was lurking beyond the sky, hidden from view. And they were convinced that whatever it wasn't normal. The conclusion both parties came to was that those were definitely the cries of a dragon. When I first saw both clips, a part of me almost immediately agreed with them until I heard Julius's voice. Yeah, his shrill yet commanding voice asked me how I knew what a dragon sounded like. I was about to give him the slam dunk of his life until he hit me. I'd never heard of a dragon before, and neither had those who recorded the clip. So how do we know that's the voice of a dragon? For a few seconds, we had the most deafening silence in the office, and then he walked away with a smirk on his face. That Julius. I don't know why, but I felt like my arch nemesis had just handed me the defeat of my life. When I honestly thought about it, I realized that it only sounded exactly like the dragon roars we hear in movies, but this is real life. So how would we even know what a dragon sounded like if nobody alive had ever heard one? Also, are dragons real? If they are, what do they eat? Let's think about this for a second. If dragons actually existed, would humans even have a chance to survive? I mean, forget Daenerys and Game of Thrones, let's be real. Would we even exist if creatures that powerful roamed the earth? But then again, if aliens are slowly being proven real, maybe dragons aren't such a crazy idea after all, and this is why I dislike talking to Julius. He makes me think all these thoughts. You know what? Forget it. Let's move on to the next one.
Gino getting ready to hit it all the way down the court with Michael going, maybe?
Yep, there it is. Michael Jordan on the breakaway. Wow.
Still on viral clips, let's take a look at this one that shows Michael Jordan on the court dribbling the ball when suddenly his hand stretches to an unnatural length before instantly snapping back to normal. When people first noticed this in the footage, the internet went wild, with many claiming that this could be proof of shapeshifting. And since Michael Jordan is a Hollywood-level celebrity, you already know what people say about celebrities being reptilian shapeshifters. But then, as with most things, Julius kind of stepped in with a scientific explanation. He claims this wasn't shapeshifting at all, instead it was just a camera glitch. According to them, when high-speed movement is filming on a standard definition camera, it can cause the image to stretch, making things like arms or legs appear elongated. That explanation makes sense, but let's be honest, it doesn't completely put our minds at ease. If all of these strange glitches are just camera errors, then why do we keep seeing them happen so often? Even with high-end camera systems, not everything needs a scientific explanation, don't you think?
Yep, there it is. Michael Jordan on the breakaway. Wow. 37 for Jordan. It's a 20-point.
It just sort of went snuggling in like he was looking for the rebound all alone, and you had about it.
Say you're in the woods and notice a woman in your thermal scope. Well, what would you do? Personally, I may just move somewhere else and call the police, but not this man. He packed his gear and went in the direction he saw the lady. It was when he got there and that he heard a strange voice. "I see you," she said.
Oh, hi.
This was enough to get the man to retreat. He quickly moved away from the place and shared his story online, asking if anyone had experienced such. Many in the comments of the original post told him he was lucky to have made it out alive because he'd most likely encountered a Skinwalker. He only lived because she was not interested in him and wanted to scare him off. I don't know about you, but this isn't something I'd love to hear. Either way, he did make it out, and while we may never truly know what he encountered, I must say, I'm glad he still has his life.
Oh, hi.
So this was sent to us by a shaken subscriber who mentioned they'd seen something similar in their home. They wanted to know if it was a Skinwalker, and my team was excited about the clip. When I saw the clip, however, I didn't need Julius for this. My limited exposure to possums was enough to make me realize this was either a shaven or bald possum. Before you come at me, look again and tell me what you think. Do you see it now? Chances are this might be a sick possum that made its way into their property. The weird sight must have scared the homeowners leading to the video. While I felt proud of myself for piecing this together and getting a nod from Julius, Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, stated my desire to please Julius was blinding me. According to him, this could still be a Skinwalker that failed to complete its transformation. And when he put out that argument, I felt he had a point. Which of our explanations do you think is the most likely one?
Get out! Get out. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray. I rebuke it in the name of the Lord.
This strange, tiny creature has been caught on camera, and honestly, I've no idea what we're looking at. At first I laughed, then I stopped, and then became concerned and maybe a little freaked out. It has the face of a person, but the body is completely different. It's wrinkled and oddly shaped, and its hands are positioned in a way that just looks unnatural. To make things even weirder, it has fur on its back. Just what is this thing? The uploader doesn't state, but some in the community think it could be a mutated rodent or even some kind of human-animal hybrid. Others are throwing out wild theories, with some even suggesting it could be a fae-like creature or an unknown species. Personally, I'm going to play the Julius advocate here and state it's an AI project or experiment simply because this shouldn't be real. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but anyway, what do you think?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
What the f?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the f, dude?
No. They were soaked.
But now you probably know the legend of La Llorona, one of the most famous Spanish ghost stories. According to the legend, she was a woman who drowned her children in a river and, consumed by grief, later drowned herself. Since then, she's said to have wandered near bodies of water, crying for her lost children. Her wailing is believed to lure people toward her, and before they know it, they're drowning too. There have been countless sightings of La Llorona, especially around Halloween. Now, take a look at this story. Two men were driving down a dark road late at night when they saw something strange. Right in the middle of the road sat a woman, completely soaked, her head bent downward as if she were crying. The moment the men saw her, they were terrified. Instead of stopping, they sped off as fast as they could. But the next day, curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to go back and check the same spot. What they found shocked them. The exact place where she'd been sitting was still damp, meaning something or someone had really been there. And just off the side of the road, a forest area leads to a body of water. Could this be that they had just witnessed La Llorona herself crawling out of the water? Some skeptics argue that this might not have been paranormal at all. What if it was just a real woman in distress? Maybe she'd been in the river nearby, desperately trying to find help, but instead, they just drove her away, leaving her behind.
What the f?
Stop. No,
Stop.
No, I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the f, dude?
No.
They were soaked.
African culture is one of the most diverse and fascinating in the world. And thanks to social media, more people are finally witnessing its magic firsthand. There's one cultural performance that keeps popping up online, and it has everyone mesmerized. Take a look at this. A man drinks from a cup and then spits the liquid onto a bundle of dried palm leaves, which are arranged with a single stick standing upright in the center. Moments later, the bundle begins to move. The stick rises to stand on end, and the leaves begin to spin on their own. It looks completely mysterious. But in this next clip, if you look closely, you'll spot a pair of feet hidden under the swirling leaves. This is known as the Compo dance. It's a traditionally masked performance practiced by the Jola people in parts of Gambia and Senegal. The dancer is completely concealed in dried palm fronds, making it seem as if the leaves themselves are dancing. And it's not just spinning for show. The dancer balances on a stick, gracefully rotating without ever falling. It's a skillful, spiritual, and highly respected performance that requires years of practice. Some say it represents ancestral spirits. Others believe it's a force of unity and protection for the community. The uploader of this clip believes he's captured a ghost. When I watched the clip, however, I felt that wasn't the case. I felt this clip actually looks like it's got a ghost because of the low-quality footage. When you pay attention to the surroundings, you see the same effect. It's not because the environment is also real. No, it's simply because the clip isn't good enough. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but what do you guys think? Do you remember that Katy Perry concert where, in the middle of a performance, she suddenly said she wasn't feeling well and then collapsed on stage? Someone had to come and carry her off, and the whole thing left fans shocked and confused. But did you notice her eyes and hand movements right before she passed out? She threw up a very odd hand sign, something that didn't seem like a normal reaction. Now, if you don't know where I'm going with this, let me break it down for you. It's no secret that many of the rich, famous, and powerful are rumored to belong to a dark cult, one that requires sacrifices and rituals to maintain their status. And if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that a lot of celebrities have been seen throwing up strange hand signs that many believe are secret salutes to their dark forces. In this situation, some people believe Katy Perry didn't pass out but was actually possessed, and when you rewatch the footage, her behavior right before collapsing looks unnatural, almost as if something took over her body. But then again, there's no natural way to collapse, so I'll let you guys decide on that one.
What the hell is that?
Someone found this strange structure deep in the woods and had no idea what it was, so they shared the footage online. At first glance, it looks like some kind of mysterious device, a hollow metal pole with a ring of long triangular metal pieces hanging downward at the top. At the bottom, there's a small locked door secured with a brand new padlock preventing anyone from opening it. But what exactly is this thing? Unsure, the person did what any 21st century person would do, uploaded it to the internet. Most people online immediately started speculating. Some believe it's a secret underground entrance, possibly leading to a hidden cave system. Others think it looks like some kind of UFO beacon, and honestly, with its strange shape, it does kind of give off that otherworldly vibe. However, in this case, there's actually a logical explanation. This is known as a precipitation gauge. It's part of a SNOTEL, snow telemetry system. These devices are placed in forested areas around the world and are used to measure climate data, especially in snowy regions. So, while it may look suspicious, it's just a weather monitoring tool, not a secret government base, and no alien activity here. At least, not this time. What comes to mind when you see structures like this? If you said hunters or indigenous tribes, you wouldn't be wrong, but since it's a paranormal clip, I'll let you try again. Yes, did I hear Bigfoot shelter? If that's what you said, then at least you and 99% of the community believe that's the case. We've seen shelters like this in remote areas in the past and featured many of them. They're usually abandoned, but this particular one, has signs that there's still someone living there. The hikers filming the clip even mentioned that there's a fresh kill there, that whatever this belonged to is actively living and eating. As I said, many in the community stated they believed that we're dealing with a Bigfoot, whereas a few others stated they believed this was nothing more than a place for demonic or satanic rituals. But you've seen the clip, so what do you think? The guy was just chilling at a park one afternoon when he noticed something odd. From the moment he arrived, there was a group of people standing apart not doing anything. At first, he thought it was nothing, maybe they were waiting for something or part of some casual gathering. But after an hour passed and none of them had moved, he started to freak out. He pulled out his phone and began filming the scene, sharing it online with the caption. So the internet exploded with theories. Many in the paranormal conspiracy communities claimed this was a clear glitch. The people were frozen in time by some sort of unseen force, but skeptics had a different take. They argued it could be a setup by a group of performers pulling off strange publicity stunts. Some even said it might be part of a guerrilla marketing campaign for a movie or a vital art piece. These days, you never really know. People will go to wild lengths for attention, or maybe, just maybe, we really are living in a simulation and someone forgot to press play.
Yeah, what's going on here? Got one guy just stood there. He's been stood there for about an hour. This other guy just stood here. This woman just stood here.
There's a guy in trees over there.
That guy just stood there. There's a guy 2 trees over there, and then this woman just stood here.
A family took their kids to the park for a fun day out when they noticed something strange. Even their young son saw it, and without hesitation, he took off running. In the bushes, just behind the tall grass, there was a tall, pale figure standing completely still. It was only visible for a few seconds, and then it was gone. The moment the parents spotted it, they grabbed their kids and left as fast as they could. But what was that thing? Since the park is frequented by children, some believe it could have been a suspicious person, possibly even a child predator lurking nearby. While that sounds logical, members of the paranormal community think this is something more disturbing, perhaps a cryptid that preys on children or something not of this world. Names like Wendigo, which is believed to have a preference for sweet, fat children, came up. They did investigate the location, but there was nothing there. It was almost as if whatever was caught on camera had just vanished. You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
What is that? Like a nest? Looks like a shoe. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's not like a person.
What do you see when you look at this clip? At first glance, it looks like a person gripping onto the branch for dear life, right? But the longer you look, the less human it seems. Some people believe it could be something that has been in the tree for a long time, blending into its surroundings. But what exactly is it? The paranormal community is convinced this could be a cryptid, some kind of unknown creature using camouflage to hide in plain sight. Skeptics, however, aren't buying it. They believe it's nothing more than a twisted, oddly shaped tree branch that just happens to look like a figure. While that sounds more like a grounded explanation, some in the community did point out that it could be the shell of a skinwalker. I didn't know skinwalkers shed their skin before this clip, but, well, now I think about it, it's literally in the name. Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
What is that? Like a nest? Looks like a shoe. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's not like a person.
In the conspiracy world, one of the most widely shared claims is that Joe Biden is actually dead. It's said that he passed away sometime around 2020, and what we've been seeing at public appearances to press conferences isn't really him. Many believe it's a clone or even a robotic double covered in hyper-realistic silicone skin to look and act like the former US president. Now, as wild as that sounds, the theory doesn't seem as far-fetched to some people, because if you look closely at some of the footage, the version of Joe Biden we see now just doesn't look or act the same. His movements seem robotic and his expressions are not quite human. There's this oddness around the edges of his face, like his skin was molded over something else. People online have slowed down clips and pointed out what we believe to be malfunctions of his facial muscles or speech patterns, a blank look in the eyes, the expressions that seem hard to read, lacking natural human emotion. And while skeptics say it's just age or bad camera angles, others are convinced it's proof that we're not looking at the real Joe Biden anymore. So, is this just another wild internet rumor, or is there a clone out there wearing the face of a former president? Moving on to another mystery, we got this security cam footage that shows what looks like a full-bodied spirit exploring the backyard. Pay attention, or else you might miss it. It's translucent and barely visible, almost as though it was never meant to be seen in our plane. Many who saw the clip believed it was a ghost that had been trapped in the location where the clip was captured. Perhaps the individual met a violent death and hasn't been able to move on. The speculations are plentiful, but then there are also some who think the whole thing's been made up by someone aiming to get their 5 minutes of fame. Not sure what fame from a clip like this would do for anyone, but you guys are also free to share your opinions.
You need to understand that the music that you listen to will either consciously or unconsciously program your mind. There's a reason why people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Kanye West do not let their children listen to rap music.
You know that saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. Well, maybe we need to take that statement a tad more serious than we do and add sound too. Because if you really think about it, what we hear and consume daily might be affecting us even more than we realize. We take in a lot of information and most of it comes from what we listen to. Music is a huge part of human entertainment, but have you ever stopped to think about what we're really feeding our minds? Have you ever wondered if it's shaping our worldviews and experiences? Take rap music, for example. It's one of the most popular and influential genres out there, but it's also known for having some of the most violent and negative themes. A lot of mainstream rap is centered around drugs, money, crime, and other destructive behaviors. But here's where it gets deeper. Music is frequency. Some is vibration. And rap music is often said to operate at a low frequency, meaning it could be affecting our energy and mindset more than we think. And if you follow conspiracy theories, you've probably heard the idea that Hollywood and the music industry use music as a tool to program and control people. It's not something we think about, but perhaps it's something we should be actively considering. This guy, and most likely everyone else who has mentioned this theory at some point in time, might be right.
Because this music is filled with horrible subliminal messaging, low vibrational frequencies, and horrible emotions of anger, doubt, fear, and scarcity. If you are someone who wants to do anything great in this life, you have to be extremely intentional about the inputs you're putting into your mind.
Have you ever noticed how dogs will suddenly bark and howl in the middle of the night for no reason? Well, this might explain why. A security camera set up in a quiet neighborhood captured something eerie. On the road, you can see a dark, hazy figure appear. It looks humanoid, but it's completely black and shadow-like. As soon as this figure walks past a particular house, the dog inside goes crazy, barking and howling furiously. It's almost like the dog sensed something wasn't right, reacting instantly to whatever this thing was. But what was it? As usual, the community can't seem to come to an agreement on what the shadowy figure could have been. That's not the only mystery on their minds. There's also the lingering question, could this be proof that dogs see things we can't? I guess that's a question we may never be able to answer for a while. In Japan, something strange has been washed up on the shores, these giant metallic balls. These things are huge, rusty, weathered, and completely out of place, and no one really knows what they are or where they've come from. Some speculate they could be drifting over from China. Others believe they might have a much more dangerous origin, possibly military. As more of these mysterious balls started appearing along the coast, authorities had no choice but to take them seriously. A special team was sent in to investigate and check for radiation. If these spheres were old sea mines or abandoned military equipment, they could be extremely hazardous. Some even wondered if they were relics from World War II still in the ocean after all these decades, or worse, dumped as part of some secret operation. But nothing's been officially confirmed. So we're still wondering what these giant metal orbs are doing on Japan's shores. At first glance, this looks like a normal image, doesn't it? Who doesn't like a colorful image of kids in the library? Now look again beyond the color. Do you see it? Yeah, there's a hooded being in the background, faint, shadowy, and just out of place enough to make your skin crawl. Some say it looks like one of the shadow people, beings that aren't just figments of imagination, but entities that drive off energy, especially fear. According to those who have had experiences with them, these figures linger quietly in the corners of our reality, waiting for moments when the veil between worlds is thin. And right now, many believe that the veil is indeed thinning. More people are starting to notice what has always been there, hidden just beyond our perception. It's not just a glitch in the photo, it's a reminder that there is far more to this world than meets the eye. The physical realm is only part of the story. So if you're seeing more of these things, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Maybe it is time to set up your projections, because sometimes when you stare into the shadows, something stares back.
Có xài. Ồ,南方的蚊子好大哦。
Asia has one of the most unique and diverse food cultures in the world. They can practically turn anything into a meal. So when I first saw this footage, my immediate thought was, is this about food? In the video, 3 men are inside a room and swarming all around them are yellow and black insects. It's unclear whether they're wasps, hornets, or some other species. But what's really shocking is how the men are grabbing them with their bare hands completely unfazed. The insects are buzzing everywhere, some even landing on their backs and arms, yet the men aren't being stung. Instead, they're laughing and interacting with the swarm like it's no big deal. Now, in many parts of Asia, insects like these are actually considered a delicacy due to their high protein content. Some people even farm them specifically for food. But I'm not sure if that's what's happening here. This is just speculation. One thing I am sure of, however, is that I'm definitely not doing this with any wasp. Never.
Có xài. Ồ,南方的蚊子好大哦。
It's widely speculated belief that heaven is above us in the sky while hell lies deep beneath the surface. I'm not sure how that idea started, but here's what many people have believed for centuries. And maybe that's why there have been so many accounts of people claiming to have heard strange noises coming from the ground, sounds from hell itself. In this footage, a construction worker started hearing something unusual coming from beneath the earth. As he walked over to an already cracked section of ground and opened it, that's when he heard it. A wailing sound, almost like voices crying out in agony. Listen. It sounds unnatural, like a chorus of souls screaming from below. Many people believe that these are the cries of condemned souls who have been trapped in hell or some kind of underworld. One commenter, however, suggested that this could simply be the sound of wind moving through the underground tunnels and crevices, creating an eerie wailing effect. Logical, I know, but this channel examines things beyond the natural. Put on your paranormal lenses and tell me what you see.
And the more I look at octopuses, the more I do wonder if they're just like aliens that are living on Earth. I mean, they're intelligent as hell. They're supposed to have the second highest IQ to human beings. I mean, if I was an octopus, I wouldn't want to spend my life opening jars and trying to get in one, quite frankly. I think that would bore the hell out of me, but, look at this little guy. Maybe this guy's gone to the surface and he's looked at human beings on boats and thought, I'm gonna give that a try. It's very cute anyway. Anyway, with that, we come to the end of this episode. Now, I'm about to fall asleep. I'm so tired. But before I go, do me a favor. If you got any videos, you got any footage, you got any pictures, you got anything that you think we might get interested in and put on the channel, send it to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. And if we like it, we'll put it on the channel. We'll even mention your name. If you want to remain incognito, you can do that as well. Thank you, guys. Now share this with everybody that you love. Share this with people that you don't love. Just share it with everybody. I don't care. I don't care. Just get us viral. Get us out there, man. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy.